Our first presenter is going to be Dr. Nguyen. Dung, I noticed on previous slides and information that you've passed on to others that you put in the correct pronunciation of your name. I hope I've pronounced it correctly.
Yeah.
Forgive me if I haven't.
That's correct. Thank you.
And she'll be presenting on teacher strategies and perspectives, providing feedback towards AI assisted English academic writing. And I'm just going to stop my PowerPoint so that you can share yours, Yung, immediately.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to hand it over to you and all the very best.
Right. Thank you. Just a little bit check if you are seeing my share screen.
We are seeing it. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So, good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to present my ongoing. This is still an ongoing process research that we have. I did with Dr. Phung in Vietnam National University. This is the my home university before I came here, and we are both lecturers. We were both lecturers teaching academic writing. In English faculty. First of all, okay. In this presentation, I will report my research motivation in the Vietnamese context, research question and data collection, and then 3 key findings that we have come up so far, and then we have the questions for discussion. For the motivation, I've been learning advisor here at Vic Uni for more than 1 year, and then we often heard that international students have more often they have academic integrity issue, but whether it is true.
I'm sorry,
not,
Yung. Just a moment, please. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Unfortunately, I'm getting some comments coming back in the chat that there's a sound issue that we're experiencing.
Do you hear me okay now?
I can hear you fine. I'm just wondering if anybody else can. And I'm just going to bring up the chat. Everybody, can you hear?
Yes, very clear. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. Can I continue? Okay.
Yes.
So, but the problem here is we are thinking whether it is the gap in their knowledge or the gap in their ethics, whether they know that they are having academic integrity issue. The second motivation is I can say there's a limited research on teachers giving feedback on AI academic writing to better inform our student learning support. The third reason is Vietnamese students is the key market in New Zealand education, and we have a lot of support for them in terms of integrity education, but the problem is they're concerned about their integrity. They are not sure if they are doing the right way. And another concern is, do our support address the cultural impacts on their AI ethics? A little bit about context of Vietnamese education. IELTS is the sole essay writing experience before overseas study. So only academic writing courses are only limited to English majors. So high school students before they come here, besides IELTS essay writing, they don't have any experience. That's why teachers of IELTS are involved in this research. And we can see the rapid AI adoption among high school and university students. But education and training are unclear, inconsistent, and unsuitable. and they will lack formal national and international guidelines on AI use. And the exam-oriented learning culture also influences their practice. My research questions, we have 4 research questions. We asked about teachers' perception, teachers' strategies, the benefits and challenge they have when they give feedback on AI assisted academic writing, and their recommendation. The instrument we use, we have 1 questionnaire of 16 multiple choice and 3 open-ended questions, and interview with 11 questions. The time we collected data was from August to November. So we just finished the last interview last week. So a disclaimer here today is we just report the very preliminary findings. We haven't had any discussion yet. First, about our participants. We got 48 questionnaire responses, 10 individual interviews. The highest qualification from the teacher, MA degree, and their experience mostly from more than 5 years of teaching academic writing. And workplaces, mostly they work in university or institution or school. And their student level, 50% of them are at B2 and C1 level. And 85% of them have used AI for teaching and for feedback purposes. The first findings, the mountains teacher climbs, they have difficulty providing AI use because they don't have any policy, so they have very limited power to do and to apply any disciplinary on AI assisted writing. And most of the guidance in AI focus on usage, not integrity or privacy. Unclear intersectional study reduce the teacher control over the class. And AI saves time on surface that they say, okay, it saves time for the marking because of the fluency of the writing, but it takes, they have to spend a lot more time on deeper analysis in order to give proper feedback to the students. And teachers also have the challenge in identify student actual weaknesses. They are not sure what students are weak at because most of the time their writing are very fluent, even in not only in language but also in content. And the second finding, they talk about practices, and we found that their practices are rooted in heritage, that is Vietnamese culture. Teachers think that they need more control because in Vietnam, we have the teacher feel the imbalance power between themselves and AI now. So in Vietnam, as influenced by Confucian culture, teachers are the fountain of knowledge. So the appearance of AI can undermine their power in classroom. That's why they feel that they need to regain the power. And academic integrity issue is not explicitly identified to avoid student embarrassment. So if teacher found any breaches of academic integrity, for the face-saving conception of Asian culture, they avoid to identify or to explicitly tell that or call out the student. And this make the process of giving feedback harder. AI marking without explicit student consent. So most of the teachers think that it is okay to put students writing on AI for marking at the first round, and then they will look at the second round, for example. And we think this is from the high tolerance for uncertainty and ambiguity culture. So teachers assume that with that power, they can put their student writing on AI for marking without consent. And they assume that all students will give consent, so they don't ask. That is one practice. And students are unaware of the copyright of the teachers or instructor when they put the teachers' questions or rubric or anything on AI for content or for assistant. So this is rooted from the rote memorization and replication of authoritative text in Vietnamese culture. We often think that using somebody else's voice is like more reliable than our voice. That is our culture. So, for example, they say, okay, somebody say something is more reliable than my voice in saying something. And the problem here is that they think AI is another voice, another power like teacher, so they don't question the content, the output. The third finding is the recommendation. What do the teachers recommend? They want clearer institutional policy. They want to understand student actual ability. So their recommendation is that to have some tests or some kind of checking. They test the writing of the students right at the beginning of the course, so that they know the ability of students. And then if they want to use AI for any other task, they would know the ability of the student already. And teachers want to adopt flexible and tolerant policies. The tolerant policy is that they want to combine AI use with academic integrity. That's why they say tolerant. And of course, they need to provide clearer feedback and guideline and rubrics. And they also suggest alternative assessment methods. So they want, if any task using AI, they would give less weight than the task without using AI. And that's the end for my presentation. So what is the implication for New Zealand education? These are the questions I put out here for us to think. And if you have any feedback, if you have any questions or any response to these questions, please raise it in the time we have left. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Dung, for your very interesting presentation. I'd like to share some of my feeling regarding to this topic. I'm from Vietnam as well. So we all know that the growing presence of AI tools in higher education has created both opportunities and challenges for those who are teaching academic English, and for us as well, who are helping students with academic writing. And as institutions begin to permit AI-assisted learning, and educators are confronted with, including us, are confronted with new questions around originality, integrity, and how best to evaluate student work. And I think that your study is very very well timed, and I think it will be will be contributing a lot to the current discussion on this matter, and thank you for that. I also hope that I can read your study results and findings, and I believe that it provides insight into how academic writing lecturers and tutors and advisors are adapting with their approaches and what concerns they hold and their beliefs as well. There is one detail that I find very interesting from what you've said. That is, because of the AI presence nowadays, the power of teacher and also advisors is reduced, and that's very interesting for me. And you said that teachers are doing something to regain the power, especially in Vietnamese context and in other Asian contexts, maybe China, Japan, and in other Asian contexts. I'm not sure about European context, but that's very interesting for me. Do you have any ideas or any findings about how do the teacher do this, or how do teacher to regain the power? Any strategies or action plans or any tip and tricks to do this? Any findings?
Thank you. Actually, this is on my previous slide on their insight into action. So then they are taking actions, and some of their actions I can see is that they are trying to change the assessment methods. They want to have in classrooms, they want to have policies. Although they are waiting for the institutional policies, they try to have some policies for themselves in classroom. And sometimes I feel teachers want to for example, they want to. Okay, I can see some teachers say the other teachers try to do assessment in classroom without the use of AI. So this is one way for them to get the control over the situation, over the use of AI. I think they are still limiting. Okay, in the way they don't know how to gain the power yet. So this is some strategies for them to step by step gain the power. And I can see some teachers feel that they are helpless. A lot of them feel helpless. And some teachers say, when they tell the student that this writing can be AI assisted, and the students say, no, I didn't use AI. How do you prove that? And teachers say, okay, I put it in an AI checker, and this is certain amount percent. And the students say, no, I put it in another app, another AI checker, and it comes up with another percentage which is acceptable. So the teachers are they feel that they are endangered. They're helpless. And then that teacher say, okay, so I want to have more power by just give them in class or the test that don't use AI.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's very insightful. There is some question on the chat. How can we help students save face when they are in danger of being caught out of AI use?
Thank you, Tanya. This is very interesting question. I also asked the participants, and teachers say they won't call out the student. They just remind the whole class about that. Okay, they would say, okay, there are some writing using AI, so you need to be careful of academic integrity. You need to do critical thinking. You do anything. So this is just they don't call out, They just give a warning on to the whole group.
Do we have any further questions from anybody? For Dr. Young?
Yes. When you talk about the saving phase from the action taken by the lecturer or teachers, how successful was that, like the outcome? Were the students still continuing to use the AI, or would the teacher see less of it?
Yeah, many teachers say they see students use less of it. And if they have more like constructive strategies in class, they would teach students, they would have some exercises or some tasks for students to do critical thinking and to challenge AI output, then they would see the result of using AI is less. That is what they can see. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
yeah, that is what they think. They think there's no point to call out the student because they don't want to be challenged. And by saving their face, that is a way to like how we imply in our culture. This is a way for them to improve. We want them to improve by not calling them out. We just teach them. We just educate them along the way.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Dung, for your presentation. And I did ask you to present here because this is something that was really interesting to me, because I was aware that what were the things that I was not picking up when I was working alongside our wonderful international students, and I wanted to be able to respond appropriately to that. I wrote down some notes just of the things that I took away from your session, which was the interesting thing that culture or context has a real impact on the way that we need to address these issues as they arise, and especially the importance of the teacher as observed by the students in Vietnam, and what that means to them, and how they saw AI fulfilling that space as well. I take that as Maori, I can understand what that actually means, and thinking about strategies of what I might do going forward. So I appreciate that very much.